Today, we are going to start our transformation of our wardrobe into an 18th century full on outfit. And Talia here is going to help me out, right? Yes. So I'm going to make a totally new 18th century wardrobe because I realized that nothing that I wear routinely I've actually made. And as someone who makes clothing, I should probably have something that I made so people know that I know how to make stuff. So I need everything. I need everything. My body measurements have kind of changed a little bit over the last 6 months to a year. So I need some help with my clothes. So if anybody remembers this lovely picture, um, I realized that none of those clothing items are things that I made. And I'm like, I don't look great in any of that. And I need to make some new stuff. So any 18th century wardrobe starts with a shift or a chemise, that white thing that goes underneath of everything. And I already have multiple of those. I have like 3 of those. So I don't really think I need to make another one, but I might want to. But I'm not going to start with that because really I need a corset. So a new corset that fits me and that actually works better than the corset that I had before, and one that is a little bit more period accurate for the 18th century, which the other one was. It just didn't fit right. It just didn't fit right. But this one is going to have like the full bone, the tabs, the spiral lacing in the back. And this is actually off of one that I saw in a museum. I took a picture of this one in, I believe it was like, which museum was it? I don't even remember what museum it was. Was it Edinburgh, maybe? Edinburgh Castle Museum? Anyway, I don't remember, but I took a picture of this 18th century corset. And it's kind of based off of that corset because I decided that I'm going to look at paintings from the 18th century. I'm going to look at museum replicas and make something exactly like that because you can read stuff in books and look at pictures of what other people have made. But honestly, I want something that I can see that was actually from that time. So I have some paintings from this lovely artist, and he painted working women. He painted women who were maids, who were just working women. I don't want to be a fancy lady. I want to be like what most of the population was. So I wanted a working woman outfit. So these outfits that I'm looking at through these paintings, I'm going to try to recreate. Like I was looking at the colors, the stitching, how they're closed together, if they do spiral lacing, if they use hook and eyes, what kind of sleeves do they have? What kind of patterns are the fabric? What does the fabric look like it's made out of? How are their skirts? Are they long? Are they short? How many skirts are they layering? There's just so many options. Are they wearing the regular chemise? Are they wearing colors? Are they wearing plain colors? Are they wearing poofy dresses? Are they wearing a bum roll? I don't know. So I did a whole bunch of research, read a whole bunch of books, looked at a whole bunch of paintings, and then these were the paintings that I decided to kind of go off of. And I think I'm going to choose this one. I really like this outfit. I like the colors. I like the yellow. I like the red. And I really like the underskirt. And I love the apron. And I just feel like it's kind of what everybody would wear. And I think it's something that I can make and something easy. But I first need to start with a corset because the corset is kind of going to determine what size my bodice is going to be or my jacket is going to be. And then we'll see what else I make. First and foremost, I am using a pattern that I got off of Etsy. It's called the Ella corset pattern, and I can definitely link it in the description and I can show you how it went together and how everything happened. I picked this one because it had good reviews and it was similar to the size measurements that I kind of needed, and it also had the closest look to the picture that I took in the museum. It had kind of the same like back piece, and it just looked a lot like the picture that I took in that museum of that corset, and I really like that corset. And I'm going to use a blue canvas on the outside, and then I have just a regular canvas on the inside, and then a lining fabric. So let's get started. So here's voiceover Erin, and I am just cutting out pieces right now and transferring this PDF pattern that I printed off and put together and transferring everything from the PDF pattern onto this lining fabric because that will sort of act as my mock-up and like my first go at sewing these seams together. Just see how everything goes together, make sure it lines up right, making sure the pattern is a good pattern for my body as well. I'm making sure the seams hit me right. Now, obviously, this thing isn't boned, so it's not going to be a true mock-up, but who does mock-ups? And then also, I wrote down where the tabs are going to end so that it ends at my waist, so that way there's not anything that I really have to fix. I'm really just making sure that there's no glaringly obvious design flaws that I need to fix before I cut my fancy fabric. And here's that fabric, and I'm cutting the outer layer and the inner layer at the same time, so they're stacked on top of each other. And I'm just doing the same exact thing, marking everything and marking the seam allowance as well, marking where things are. Most important thing is just to make sure that you have everything lined up the way that it needs to go and you know how things go together. And it actually was a really easy corset to sew together. Like the seams were really easy to sew. Everything lined up really great. I've sewn some patterns that just things were not lining up. And this actually did wonderful. I think the pattern was made quite well. And from what I have seen sewing this together, it looks like it was true to size. And I have no bad things to say about the assembly of this corset, really. So this is the most lengthy process. The assembly of a corset is really not that bad. It's the boning channels, the sewing, the boning channels. This goes right on the front. Everybody's going to see it if anybody sees your corset. And it's just not the best. It takes forever. And I think this is why more people do not make their own corsets, because it is time consuming. You have to map out how the boning channels are going to go, which isn't very hard because this pattern does have lines to guide you where you should put them. But, and you can be meticulous like this. And I did take a ruler and I measured how far away the distance between the boning channels and the gaps were, and the distance between the tabs. And it really does look amazing when you're done. So just get through the boning channels and you're pretty much almost done. You're pretty much almost done. So this is kind of a close-up of how I'm doing it. I'm just measuring the lines to how the corset is. And the pattern that I cut out is my size, so it should fit. It should be fine. However, you will see in a minute that there was an issue. A slight issue, not a bad issue. Like, everything was fine. Like, don't worry. It's okay. So here is the front panel, all done with the boning channels. I don't know why I started with the front panel, but I did. And now I have a million more channels to go. I don't think it matters. Does it? No. Do not care, Erin. Don't be OCD. Just get it done. Just get it done. Is my stitching perfect? No. Do I care? Also, no. Just do it. Just do it. Just go. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do we do? We swim. Okay. This is turning out adequate. This one is daunting. Look at it. I think my eyes twitching. Okay. We shall not become overwhelmed. We shall not. We shall persevere. Okay. Ooh, this might work. Okay, okay. I'll do the 2. And then do the 3. 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 Using my noggin. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So we have an issue. My boning is a little bit larger than the boning that they accounted for in the pattern. So my boning channels are bigger because I did make a draft and a mock-up sort of what size I would need for my boning channels, and they are bigger than what's in here. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 tabs with boning in it. I do not have room to do 4 tabs of boning in here. Boom, boom, boom. So, because this is like an inch apart, because I measured from here, and I did not think, oh, my boning channels are bigger, I should make the distance smaller. No, I didn't do that. So now I'm wondering, what do I do? What do I do? Do I just have 3? I don't know. I don't know what I do. Will it look weird? This is the side. Will it look weird? I don't know. Because I have to cut in here. Do I just chop this off a little bit and then there's just a little bit of a bigger gap between boning or between the tabs on the side? I don't know. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna rip this whole thing out because I think I would die inside a little. So I'm not gonna rip it out. I'm just going to say that it looks great. Finish the boning channel that I need to finish. Like finish this. And then do the other one the exact same way. So that way, at least they're the same. So if I do have to cut off a little bit to make it work, at least it's both the same on both sides. Sewing. So I had to take a break. This is the next day, and I am finishing the boning channels, and I am just taking the threads that I cut off and transferring them back to the other side, to the inside, and then tying them together. So that way there's no strings that I have to cut off on the front side of the corset. Everything is to the inside, and then they are tied and secured together on the inside of the corset. And there's not like a whole mass of strings or anything like that. So I'm just tying things together on the back so that everything is very secure. No stitching is going to come out because there's going to be lots of wear and tear with those boning channels. And we just don't want to make any, you don't want to take any chances. Oh my gosh, we're done. Thank the Lord. Oh. Assembly time. Assemblage. Oh, it's kind of lining up. Like it's supposed to. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's do this one first. Is this right? Line up the corners. Lining up. Please just work. Be like, oh, you did this perfectly. You know what you're doing. You're professional. Oh, shoot. I think I'm a professional. Look at it. Okay. Next. Not as beautiful. Is it bad enough that I want to rip it out? Yeah. Is this going to look worse or better? I love it. It looks better. It looks better. Good choice. Good choice. Oof.
The insides are never beautiful, but I find this a beautiful mess. All of my seams are sewn down with a large running stitch so that way they're not flopping around on the inside. And it's just kind of pretty, I think. You can see my big stitches. This part doesn't matter what you do because nothing is going to be seen. It's literally just to hold the seams down. Now all we've got to do is put the lining on, do some eyelets, put the boning in. We still have some work to do.
You want to talk? Probably do a better job. What was it? 160? 120? 105? I don't remember how many pieces of boning, but I will count and I will put the number on the screen because it was so much. My hand is so like sore right now and stiff because of all the boning channels. The little hemostat that I used to push through when it started getting hard to push through saved my hands so much. It's just a little hemostat. I'll show you. It's just this little hemostat. I know I've seen them. I'm trying. I'm trying to talk here. Anyway, you can get these hemostats pretty much anywhere. I know I've seen them at like farm and home stores. I don't know what people use them for other than like healthcare stuff, but get yourself one of these. I have used this so much sewing. Like if you can't turn out a corner very well or you need to reach in something and your hands aren't working correctly, this thing, let me just tell you, is amazing. And it helped my hands so much when I couldn't push in the boning anymore. I just clipped this on and pushed it in, and it gave me a lot more leverage. Blah, blah, blah. It gave me a lot more leverage to push in. So 100% get one of these for your sewing room. Love it. Anyway, so now all I have to do is put the lining on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste the lining on around the edges because the lining isn't like really sewn on. So I'm just going to baste it on, like hand baste it on. So that way it's stuck on there. And then I have to put on the binding. I've decided that I'm not going to use grommets on this because I feel like grommets look a little bit costumey and I want it to be more accurate. So I have an awl here. I bought myself an awl. Amazon. Find them on Amazon real cheap. So I bought an awl because I didn't have one before. Before I was just like poking holes with the scissors. This is going to be so much easier because it's not going to cut the fabric. It's going to just open up the fibers of the fabric. So that way, when you sew, you're not sewing fabric that's going to unravel. You're just sewing a hole in fabric that was stretched. So this is actually a really good option for historically accurate eyelets because grommets are great. I love grommets, but because they're so much faster, because I'm going to have to hand do eyelets. And there's so many eyelets on this corset. I'm not looking forward to it, but it's going to just look so much better. I know I'm going to know. I know I'm going to be like, oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I decided to do that. So I know it'll be a good choice. It'll look great and it will really, give this corset a vavoom. And also because there's some eyelets on the front, it's going to look really good. And grommets, I don't think would look right. It would look more costumey, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. I am not going to videotape a lot of that because that's just like sitting there watching me sew, hand sew. It's not very exciting. So, I'll show you how I do it. But, you know, you don't need to see the whole thing. Did I tell you? I don't think I told you. My plan was to make everything 100% 18th century and do everything by hand. And then I did a little mock up of what the boning channels would look like if I did them by hand and how long it would take. And, is it something I want to do? Because, of course, they didn't have machines back then. And all of the ones in museums and paintings and everything, they're all hand sewn, obviously. And then I did a boning channel hand sewn, and let's just say I quickly made the decision just to lengthen my stitches on my machine so that it looked a little bit less machine done because I ain't doing that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Maybe if I don't have anything else to do and I don't have a time limit of when I want this, like I need this corset by like the first reenactment that I'm planning on going to, which is in June. It's January. I'm not convinced I would have gotten it done if I did it all hand sewn. So I didn't do that. Maybe one day, not today. No. If you guys want to do it, you do it and put your pictures in there. I want to see your pictures of your beautifully hand sewn corsets because they are beautiful. They're wonderful, like works of art. But was I going to do that? No, no, no. Anyway, stay tuned. I don't know why I thought that I could try this on by myself. I can't. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video and I hope you like the finished product. I really do. I think it's great. There's a few things I would change. The construction was great. The pattern was pretty good. There was a few little mishaps, like with the tabs. There was 4 in the pattern and I could only fit 3. That seemed to work out great. There is no weird gaps or anything. So that seemed to work out fine. So no problem there. The construction was super easy. It was mostly just the little fiddly things that took forever, but that's normal with corset making, I guess. The only things that I would change about the pattern is the straps are a little long and they are like as close as they can get. So I think in the future, if I made one of these again, or maybe later, future Erin might do that, is maybe make them like an inch shorter, because I do think that it would take out this little bit of gapping right there if they were just a little bit tighter. Like, look how nice that looks if they're just a little bit tighter. So not a huge deal in the long run, but definitely something that I know about myself is just, I think the last thing I made with straps, they were too small. So maybe I just have a weird body. I don't know. It seemed to look great on everybody else and they didn't mention altering the pattern at all. So that's something for me. Also, I don't love how long this is in the back. This is quite long. Honestly, I'm not changing it. I'm not changing it. It's fine. So the front, I just love the front. I tucked the bow in there because I didn't know if I liked the way that looked, but I really, really, really like it. It's very comfortable. I feel like I could make a full meal over the fire and I can bend over and I can do things. I think it's great. It was easy-ish. It took a while just because it took a while for all of the little things that you have to do to make a corset. And honestly, this was a really good project. I think that you should go out and do it. Go out and make it. I hope it inspires you to make something new. This was the first time I've made a pattern like this. So good luck and happy sewing. Oh, this is nice because the sun is like over there. So I'm going to frolic. Are you ready?
Okay.